everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So today is exhaust day. This is the day I have been dreading because it's so difficult to get the exhaust in the caddy. So today in the caddy we're going to be getting the exhaust fitted up, then we're going to give the engine another run to see how she runs and clear off all the faults that are in that van so that we can get it ready for first drive. Now last week you saw me attempt to move the van and it was really slow and sluggish. That's because there was a whole lot of faults that came up and the van was in limp mode. Today we plan to clear all that once we fit the exhaust so we can connect up all those oxygen sensors that the van relies on to tell it whether or not it can run properly. So we'll get those connected up today and then we'll see how we get on. So let's get on and see how far we get. Okay, so caddy. Today what we're going to do, get the exhaust in. So the new exhaust, we're going to get that in. Before we do that, we're going to drop the subframe so we can feed the new exhaust from underneath. It has to come from underneath. There's a couple of bolts to bolt it in place. Then we've got the sensors to put in place. Now I thought I'd lost the EGR valve, but no, there she is there. So we need to get the EGR valve in, but we'll only get that in place once we get the exhaust in place. And then we need to connect up these vacuum pipes, fill the van up with water. Then we need to take a look and see what else needs to be done, but we are pretty much there in terms of where we need to be, I think. We'll clear some codes and then we'll see how we get on. But the first thing we're going to do, let's drop that subframe and then we can get that exhaust in place. Okay, exhaust is in. If I just told you the nightmare that I've just gone through to get this exhaust in, it has been unbelievably hard. At one stage I thought that it wouldn't fit, but it's in. Although there is a bit of an issue, and I'll show you. Let's get underneath the van and I'll show you the issue that I've discovered with this exhaust after all this time. If you look down there, hopefully you can see it. Let's zoom in and shine a light. Can you see the exhaust there? It's just slightly short. Yeah, it's short by about 5 inches really, because although it should slide in and it doesn't. This is supposed to be the correct exhaust for this van. Unbelievable. So I'm gonna have to get a sleeve of some sort to get that to fit. I'll get an exhaust company to do that, which is a real pain, but it is what it is. But anyway, we're going to move on. You can see it there. Oh, yeah. But other than that, everything else has gone in okay. The exhaust curves around the corner, which is fine. It's not fouling anything. So, yeah, we're in a good place. I'm just going to get that, listen out. Okay. Right, so, what have I got to do now? So these vacuum hoses just need to connect up. We've already got that one done down there. Let's get a torch so you can see what I'm talking about. Here you go. So, and there's one just hidden behind here. Just see him there. No, you can't. So this pipe here, I need to connect him up, and he goes up to here. Then we just need to put all of these connections in. Then I've got to get the old oxygen valve, get him to be fitted into that hole just over here. So that hole there will screw him in. Alright, so let's get those little bits and pieces done, shall we? Okay, brakes time. Now if you remember last week I showed you the condition of the brakes, and although they have got a little bit of meat on them, you can see that they've broken down considerably. This one is in a better state, but if you compare them to how much material is on the new one, then you see why I'm changing them. So we're going to change these over. You can see considerable material in comparison. Here we go, let's do a line up. You can see side by side. Yeah, need changing. The discs themselves are okay. They've got a little bit of scoring on them, but not significant that I will change them, and there's no lip, which is the main thing. So we'll get those changed over, and then we'll move on to filling up the van with some fluid. Alright, brake pads are now done. Now we're going to pressure fill this thing and then stick on the air filter, which will be the last job we do before we lower it to the ground. So let's get that done. The brake fluid, the brake did a bit of bleeding, no drama there, straightforward. So now the old brake or fluid fill. You see me do this before, so I'll do it quickly, but other than that, we're in a very good place. Just as I started to fill, I just did a pressure test and it lost some pressure and I couldn't figure out why. So I thought I'll fill it anyway, and we got a leak. But not to worry, found where the leak is. It's coming from here, just underneath there. See it? It's because the clip is not on there. That's all it is. So I'll get that sorted and then that should stop that leak. Okay, leak is fixed. Just had to move this bracket, this clamp, to the right place. It's amazing how much pressure that clamp can hold. Yeah, so anyway, that's now sorted, no more leaking, so we're all good. We didn't lose much in terms of fluid. It's literally above the line there anyway, so we're all good. Alrighty, so next I'm going to put the airbox on properly, and then, well, not much else to do really. Oh yes, got a clamp underneath the van as well, the exhaust, but I'm not going to show you that. You're just going to see it drop down on the floor. Okay, so we just run VCDS, and we've got a few things that we need to take a look at. Most of these are going to be historic, or they should be historic, but the first one we're going to take a look at is engine malfunction. So let's take a look at that and see what that is. And that is EGR system. So I'm going to clear that because we know that we've replaced the EGR system. So let's just clear that one. Yep, it's clear. That's been found. Let's go back, go in it again and see if that comes back. Nope, that's all good. Okay, so we can close that one down. HVAC we know about because there is none. So it's going to tell us function restriction due to fault in other modules. Let's just clear that and see what comes back. Okay, done. Let's go back. Refrigerant pressure too low. That's fine. That's perfect because there ain't no refrigerant in there. So that's the reason why that will respond like that. So that is fine. And then central electrics, let's have a look at that. Windscreen wiper, no communication. Okay, there's a whole lot in there, isn't there? Low beam, yeah. Let's just clear all those and then see what comes back on that one. Okay, go back. Fault codes. Alarm horn, no signal. Yeah, because I've disconnected that. 2 faults on. What's the other fault? Sensor for anti-theft system, no signal. Yeah, because that's disconnected. So that's absolutely fine. So that means that we've actually cleared all the faults in the vehicle. So I'm going to do another scan and we'll come back and see what it finds. Okay, so we'll just run it again and none of those faults have come back up, which is great. Perfect. So just the ones that we know about, which is no HVAC because there is no coolant in there, and the alarm that we've disconnected. Oh, and the telephone system, not really bothered about that if I'm honest with you. So we're in a good place. So let's just give the van a wee bit of a start up. Okay. And you see that the van sounds absolutely fine. Perfect. Okay, so we're pretty much almost ready for first drive. I say almost ready. We need to sort out that exhaust underneath. That's the only thing we need to sort out now. So next week we will be endeavoring to take the Caddy on first drive, and then I think we pretty much are there in terms of where we need to do. There's a couple of housekeeping stuff I need to do. New grill, definitely gonna need a new grill. That one's broken, as you can well see it, and I got a new badge, but it doesn't fit because the center bit is all gone. So we do need a new badge, grill. So we get a new grill, then we can fit the bumper properly, and it's just really just cosmetics. That's really what it comes down to. But next week is the cosmetic weeks and getting it on the ground and getting it for that first drive. So we are almost there, people. Tune in next week for the not one. Is it going to be the fun? We'll see. Tune in next week to see what we how far we get with this van. So close. We are so close to doing that first drive. Next week we'll drop it on the ground. There's a few little bits that we need to finish off, the grill, etc., you know, stuff like that. Then we should be ready for first drive. That is, unless I don't have an issue. Now, in my last clip you probably saw the glow plug light flashing. Now in the Caddy, that means an engine fault. I did another scan off camera and it came up with an EGR fault. So I'm going to investigate what that is, because if that's an EGR fault on that van, it's a nightmare, because the EGR is on the back and it would have been so much easier to do it when the engine was out of the vehicle. It's literally click click bolt done. When it's in the vehicle, it is a nightmare to do. So hopefully we won't have to do anything with that, and we'll be able to clear that fault down, because it's not clearing at the moment. So I'm going to do a bit of research and I'll tell you how we get on with that next week. So more drama with the Caddy, as you expect, but we are very close to finishing and moving on to the next project. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you do and you're a casual viewer, don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell notification so you're notified when we release a new video, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good week.